जय श्री राधे 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 जय 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 श्री राधे 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 जय 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 श्री राधे राधे जय 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 श्री राधे 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 जय 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 श्री राधे 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 जय 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 श्री राधे 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 जय जय श्री राधे 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 जय 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 श्री राधे राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधा रमन बिहारी राधा रमन बिहारी राधे जय रमन बिहारी राधा रमन बिहारी राधे जय सचिनंदन जय गौर हरि सचिनंदन जय गौर हरि सचिनंदन जय गौर हरि सचिनंदन जय गौर हरि जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद शिल प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि हरि निताय गौर हरि निताय गौर हरि हरि निताय गौर हरि निताय गौर हरि 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 निताय गौर हरि निताय गौर हरि हरि निताय गौर हरि 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 निताय गौर हरि निताय हरि हरि निताय गौर हरि निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि
Someone's car parked right outside. Oh, that's me.
Yeah. Excuse me, what's your name again? Huh? Desi, okay. You've been coming a lot recently. Also to the MDC program? Or just here?
Only here.
Okay. Does everybody have papers? We start with the white paper. Did Diego get a paper? Agyanam timirandasya Gyananjana salakaya Chaksuranmilitam Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tvadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah. Yang Pravrajantam Manupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Taruva Juhava Putre Ditanmayataya Taravo Benedos Tang Sarvabhut Hridayam Muni Manatosmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Chiptasya Kamadi Tarangamadye Kripamai Twam Sharanam Prapadyam Brinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavoivasmi Najivami Tambina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tam Nayamam Charanantike Kripayati Yadi Radha Padita Sheshabadha Kema Paravashishtam Pushti Maryadeyorme Yadi Vadati Chakinshit Smeraha Sodita Srir Dvijavada Mani Pantya Mukti Shuktya Tadakyam Shama Sundara Shikhanda Shekhara Smeraha Samurali Manohara Radhika Rasikamam Kripanite Swapriya Charana Kinkari Karu Prananatha Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Makabja Rasalola Satapada Radhika Paratale Kritastiti Tambajami Rasikendra Shekhara Sambadaya Dasane Vibho Vartaye Brajamahendra Nandana Astu Mohantavati Balaba Janma Janmani Marisvari Priya. If Sri Radha is merciful to me, then all of my unlimited obstacles in my devotion will be removed. There will be nothing superior for me to obtain, because I will have received the excellence offered by the paths of both Vaidhi, that is regulative principles, and Rag, or spontaneous devotion. And if she speaks something while smiling gently, thus revealing the rose, the brilliance of the rose of her of her pearl-like teeth, then what significance will the oyster of liberation have? O Shamasundar, O you whose head is adorned with peacock feathers, whose face is graced with a laughing smile, whose murali flute enchants the mind, and who are most expert in relishing ras with Srimati Radhika. O Ocean of Mercy, please make me a kinkari, or maidservant at the feet of your beloved. You are the Lord of the life of the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, and you are like a bee, always eager to taste the nectar of her lotus-like face. O Rasikendra Shekhar, topmost of those who are Rasik, who are seated at the feet of Srimati Radhika, I worship you. O son of the king of Braj, O all-pervading one, who enchants the minds of all. Taking a straw in my teeth, I pray that your supremely beloved Sri Radha be my worshipful goddess, birth after birth. First I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful, initiating Guru, Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful, instructing spiritual master, Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Sri Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our grandfather gurus, Sri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj and Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, and to all the assembled devotees and the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus who are my Shiksha Gurus. So at first, Vasanti and I were a little discouraged when 12 o'clock came along, because we thought that with all of the programs that we've had at MDC, and so many people, students, teachers, all kinds of people streaming in all day and in the evenings, that we kind of expected a complete room full of, or temple full of guests, but that didn't happen. But then gradually you all started coming, and we're happy about that. And although there are only a few guests here today, it's high quality, and we're very honored to have you. So we're going to start by doing a little Q&A, because that's what we used to do on Sundays. Any question that you have, a life question, or a philosophical question, or a doubt, I'm not sure this is the right place to be, or anything at all that's on your mind that we can answer by Krishna consciousness. So, okay, let's take some time for that. Santi. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Thing is, we're always asking questions all day long. We're always having doubts all day long. So this is a good time to express it. All right, I'll ask them. So any questions today? Yes, Peter? Loud? Oh, let's get mics for everybody.
How can we do more outreach and connect the religions? Because I think there's an opportunity to connect Christianity with the East, because the Christ consciousness is very similar, if not the same, as Krishna consciousness.
What do you mean by outreach? Try to get everybody together?
Yeah,
like an interfaith?
Because I think it seems impossible, but at the same time, there's this almost magical opportunity right now, like to link the East and the West.
Well, I think that's what we are always doing. We're trying to link Krishna consciousness to everybody's daily affairs, no matter what they're doing. Most people who claim to be Christians don't follow Lord Jesus, because he says in the first commandments that one should love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and soul and mind, and then love the neighbor as thyself. Because it's only if we can love our Father that we can love our siblings. So there's no quarrel between God and God's Son, namely Lord Jesus, because Lord Jesus said we have to be about the business of our Father. And Krishna says in the Gita that I am the seed-giving Father of all living entities. And we learn from Srimad Bhagavatam that the material nature is the mother. And Krishna's expansion, Lord Vishnu, glances over that material nature and brings her to life, brings her to manifest all the beings in all the various species of life. Because just as a mother can't give birth to the children without the father's impregnation, so Krishna impregnates the material nature so that the whole cosmic manifestation comes. So I think the person most doing that is Haridas. He's on some interfaith groups representing Krishna consciousness. But if you would like to also help with that, or bring other faiths here so that we can have a dialogue and show them that Krishna consciousness is the postgraduate study of all religions, because it's the common denominator. It's what brings everyone together. Does that help? So, yeah, can you do that?
I think so, yeah.
Can you do some outreach? And also we have so many books here that you can give out to people, and one of them is called The Way of Love. And there, Srila Gurudev explains how Lord Jesus went to India and met with the priests there in Vrindavan and Jagannath Puri, and he heard all about Krishna, and then he was coming back to his country, and it's just a matter of more of accent and language than anything else, because Krishna is always anointed. You could see on his forehead with beautiful tilak decorations, and Christ means the anointed one. Yeah, and then when he went back to his country, it went from, because in Jagannath Puri, Krishna is pronounced Krishna. It went from Krishna to Krishna to Krista to Christ. So it's just a language thing. It's not really a difference of thought. The Christian Bible is a pocket dictionary of the same information that Krishna consciousness is of a collegiate dictionary. It's just more information. Why? Because the audience was more advanced so that they were able to hear more about the same thing. Like you'll tell a little child, or if a little child asks the mother, "Mother, where's the moon?" And then the mother will say, how am I going to get him to understand? Look, you see that tree up there? See, the moon is sitting up on the tree. So this is the logic of the moon on the branch. Chandra, Saka, Nyai, the logic of the moon on the branch. You give the child some or new person to Krishna consciousness, a very simple analogy or example, and then when he matures more, then they can hear that, well, actually, we learn from the Bhagavatam that, well, first they go to school and learn from science, which isn't even true. We don't believe in mundane science about the cosmology of the universe, because we learn from the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is actually a descending process instead of an ascending process of trying to figure it out with my own mental speculation and my own mind that's always tricking me, that's always telling me, think this, desire this, it's going to bring you happiness, and then it doesn't work out. And then I have to think something else. And most any thought, and you can think about it and tell me what you think, most any thought that begins very hopeful, it always ends as a flub. You know what I mean? It's the nature of the material world. It can't be changed in the world as it is. It can only be changed by changing the consciousness. I forgot why I mentioned that, about things looking hopeful and then not being hopeful.
Science.
Yeah, we don't believe in science because that's speculative. And Let's try to figure it out with our eyes. Let's make a telescope with our eyes, which can't even see the closest thing to it, which is the eyelids, which can't see through a piece of paper. And yet they want to make a telescope and guess that there's nobody living on the moon. Why? Because they have their imperfect telescopes. Whereas in our transcendental Indian wisdom books like Srimad Bhagavatam, we learn that because the moon is really the source of life, of vegetables, and makes you feel good to go out in the moonlight, doesn't it, at night after a hot, sweaty sun. So if the moon is the giver of life, how could the moon have life, have not life? You can't give something that you don't have. So we understand from the Vedic literatures that the moon is further than the sun. And it's not our moon. It's a heavenly planet. Even when there's a time of devastation where everything created, then it gets destroyed in a natural day. So there's a creation that takes place kind of at the beginning of time, when the first living being comes into being. And then at the end of his day, which is trillions of years, then most of the planets in the universe, they all get annihilated, dissolved by, if you want to get into details, 36,000 years of fire and then 36,000 years of flood. Only the very topmost planetary systems, like 4 or 5, remain. Brahma goes to sleep and some other planets remain, but most of everything is annihilated, dissolved, burnt and flooded. So that's descending knowledge. And then, but the scientists are using ascending knowledge, that what do you learn in school? There's only 9 planets. And this is the only planet that's inhabited. And our country is the best. And all that. So I don't know if that answered your question. So yes, please take some books and go out.
They faked the scientists faked the moon landing too.
They also faked the moon landing. Like they said, it kind of looks like the Arizona desert, if you hear in the news. Why does it look like the Arizona desert? Because it is the Arizona desert.
Guru Devi.
I can't, can you? No, I can't. I have trouble. It's new, it sounds better. It doesn't look like a mustache, but it's really hard to keep together. Maybe somebody can figure it out. Anyway, so
Guru Devi, you said that
Yeah.
we don't believe in science. Can you?
we don't believe in material
Thanks.
science regarding the nature of the source of life, the source of existence, the cosmology of the universe.
Like evolution, no evolution.
No evolution, because they say that, first of all, they say that life comes from matter, and we never see that. We see that there are seeds of a tree. Tree is life. The seed comes from the fruit of that same tree, and the fruit comes from a live tree. We never see that life comes from matter. There's no example. Does anybody know an example? Let's see. Yeah, the evolution, they say that first there was the Big Bang, and then there was like an amoeba or a bacteria that came out of the Big Bang. And then gradually it advanced to aquatics, and then amphibians, and then animals, and then finally the top, human being. Well, first the ape, and then, our ancestors are all apes. So, yeah, we don't accept that. And one of the evidences is that everybody's still here. The bacteria are here, the amphibians are here, the apes are here, the what's that one? What? The lowest life is here, and we're here also. So there's nothing to give evidence to Darwin's theory of evolution, which everybody in school is learning as fact. So therefore it's very important. It's very important. And then what's the future? What do they teach is the future? Death, and then there's nothing after that. You're finished.
Oh, that the sun gonna explode. They say
I'm
that
sorry?
the sun is gonna explode and destroy everything. That's what they think.
Right. It came from an explosion and it ends in an explosion.
Sun explode.
Right. So is that a very hopeful life? I'm going to college, I have a career, trying to make money, trying to get a reputation. For what? For an explosion, for death.
Is there a science then that does that mean that what we believe is not scientific?
What we believe?
Yeah.
What they believe is not scientific, it's speculation.
Okay.
And they call themselves scientists.
What about does that mean that ours is not scientific?
Ours is a scientist. And who are the scientists? The science comes from God himself, who creates. He created the map. He created what's in the map. He says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me as what? Yeah. Everything is held by me as pearls are strung on a thread. So there is so many smart people in this world, and they do smart things like make computers, make documents that you can send across the world in 1 minute, a video that you can send across the world in 1 minute. And so it takes a brain. So, but still the scientists have the nerve to say that there's no brain behind things that are even greater than that, or no brain behind the person who has the brain, who made the computer, who made, look at what man is doing these days with digital animation. And later, this is a plug for later, I think after the program, right after the program, that is, you go and take prasadam. Everybody here knows what prasadam is. It's the meal that's served at around 2 o'clock. Prasadam means mercy. So immediately after that, like a half hour after that, we're going to show a movie. And that movie is a very, very, it quickly became a very famous movie. It's called Mahavatar, Great Incarnation, Nrsingadev. And it's only been out in the world for a very short time, and already it's popular in millions of people, with millions of people. So first it was, you had to see it in movie theaters and pay a lot of money, travel a while, but now we're getting it here at the temple for free. Yeah, did you get your answer? Okay. Champak. Why am I so much in anxiety? Because I don't know who I am. Because I'm being bewildered by everyone who's telling me, all the teachers and authorities that are telling me things. Nothing is satisfying. Yes?
So I was having a discussion with one of my siblings, and we were talking about...
I should turn this off.
I don't know how to...
It's okay.
Okay. We were talking about abortion, and I was saying, like, I obviously know my stance on that is killing is wrong, and you've said to me so many times abortion is wrong, is a heinous act, is, you know, sinful, etc. And then they were asking, I was saying, like, you will gain karma from that, and then we were talking about, like, what kind of karma you would gain from killing different species. Like they were saying, okay, so if you kill a mosquito, is that like killing a group of cells that's a human fetus, like a human baby? Is it like is that equivalent? If it's just like a bunch of cells, would it be equivalent to a lower form of life? And I didn't know how to answer that, but I know that what we're taught in this philosophy is that a human birth is very significant and very special birth. So and then it also made me think about how how plants are living beings as well, and obviously we kill plants to eat them. So can you talk a little bit about when it's okay, or what or is the difference between killing humans or non-humans, etc.? I just don't know what the answer was. So.
Everybody understood the question? Okay. So there are many facets to the answer. It's stated in the first canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, that to kill a cow, which is a sacred animal, is equivalent to killing a child in a secluded place. That's pretty heavy. As soon as the soul enters the cells, you might call them, in the womb of a mother, that means that the soul is there in the body. And that means that even though it doesn't have the form of a human, there's already a person in there. So Srila Prabhupada said that if one performs abortions, then he'll never be able to see the light of the sun for many, many births, because he'll be aborted again and again. And even unknowingly, I mean, this material world is such a tar baby if we're not Krishna conscious and doing things for Krishna. Like even back in the 70s, I learned from Srila Prabhupada that even turning water on and off, so many bacteria are killed. Even breathing, if I'm breathing for my own enjoyment, yes, I'm going to a steakhouse, I'm going to a prostitute house, lots of other levels of sins. So if I'm going anywhere that's not for Krishna, then even my breathing, I have to get a reaction for that. And then turning on and off water, even walking, I'm killing so many worms and other insects, ants, and I have to get a reaction for all that. And it's not just one thing, like you said, what's the relative punishment one may get from killing different higher or lower species. So it's all through our life, all through our every day that we're killing. We're also killing.
Yes.
But because we are hopefully walking for Krishna, going shopping for Krishna to buy food to offer to him, saying the prayers to offer the food to him, and it's actually Krishna's house that I'm living in, not mine, then I have to get so many innumerable reactions. You saw, I think, in the Bhagavad Gita, there's one painting. It's four, not sided, four, huh?
Faces.
Yeah, four faces karma. So in the first one, he's going to get it, I think. In the first one, the lady is posing for a nudie magazine, like that. And in her next life, she comes back as a tree in the same position. So it's not simplistic like that, but it's an accumulation of so many millions of activities during the course of one's life. Then in the next one, the lady is sleeping like forever, that's all she wants to do. And then she takes her next birth as a bear, because her consciousness is bear. And the first lady's consciousness is tree. And then the third one is, equal rights for men and women. The third one is a man, and he is doing a barbecue. So in his next life, he can become a zebra or a lion who's attacking a zebra. Why work 9 to 5 and you have to buy the whole barbecue machine, and you have to buy the whole thing, and the meat in the store's freezer, and you have to cook it. You have to work so many hours. So why do that? Just become a lion, and immediately you can jump on your zebra and eat it up. And then the fourth one is also a man, and he is eating anything and everything, like lobsters, cake with eggs in it, forget what else. And then in his next life, he's eating everything. So who eats anything and everything without discrimination is the pig. He even eats up to stool and thinks that he's enjoying. So it's a very tar baby world. Every step gets you deeper into the tar. And it's also what's that word? It's not tar, but it's quicksand. It's a quicksand world. Because, quicksand is in like the jungles of Africa. And as soon as you step in the quicksand and then you try to get out, it not only glues you in, but it takes you more deep. And the more you struggle, the more deep you go in. So this is the world of the illusory struggle against the material nature. It's illusory because we are eternal by nature, full of bliss by nature, unlimited bliss, and knowledge, unfathomable knowledge. But because we chose to cover our real life up, our real nature up, by turning towards dead matter to take shelter of, then we end up taking shelter of a stone boat or a dog that's trying to swim across the ocean. A dog can swim a couple of inches in a little pool or pond, but trying to swim across the ocean and trying to grab onto the tail of that dog will never make it. So that's what everybody is doing. And we're so lucky that we didn't find, but we were found by our disciplic succession of bona fide gurus, and who are presenting the ancient Vedic literature so that we can see things as it is. And so we're taught to be jnana chaksus. Chaksus means eyes, and jnana means knowledge. So we're taught to see through the eyes of knowledge rather than through the eyes of our peacock feather eyes. Peacock feather eyes are very beautiful. You all know the peacock feather. Very beautiful, but they don't see. So also we're taught to see through the eye of scripture. That's called Shastra Chaksu. Shastra means scripture, and Chaksu means, again, eyes. Seeing through the eyes of scripture. Like in the scripture we learn that, what does Krishna say he is in the Bhagavad Gita? I am the original fragrance of the earth. Like, we have, can you take a deep breath? Do you smell anything nice? Because we sprayed things in the temple. We have a, what do you call that thing? That diffuser. So that takes a lot of intelligence. So how can we say that the whole earth, which has so much nice flavor, just comes from nowhere? Krishna says, I am the original fragrance of the earth. And I am the taste of pure water, not contaminated water, but pure water has a nice taste. He says, I give taste to that water. What else? I'm the beginning, the middle, and end of everything. How nourishing that is, to know that everywhere we look, Krishna is watching us, taking care of us. Any other question? Yes, she has one.
So, in the past few, I've noticed so much terrible stuff happening in America recently, the past few weeks. And, well, there was a shooting at a Catholic school. The kids, like the little kids, they were praying and they, terrible. Another activist, very good guy, he followed Christ consciousness. He was killed, and it's very sad for a lot of people. So my question is, I've noticed a recurring theme in America where so many young people think that they can change their gender, and I'm noticing that, like, the doctors are saying this is okay, and we'll give you this like life-altering, dangerous surgeries and medications and all these things that I don't think are natural. So my question is this like a symptom of Kali Yuga? And what do we do?
Okay, that's another very good question. All the questions were great. So in this one, there are many terrible sufferings going on in America and all over the world, of course. And is this a symptom of Kali Yuga? Okay, first, what's Kali Yuga? There are 4 yugas or ages, like the Golden Age, the Silver Age, or let's use a non-metallic example. There are the age of goodness. Satyayuga is the age of goodness, where so many people were enlightened and people live for 10,000 years, and it was a very pure age. And then the next age is called what? Dwarpa Yuga or Treta Yuga. Sometimes the yugas interchange. And that's the age where people live for 1,000 years. Or was it 100,000 years in Satya Yuga? Yes. And then 10,000 years in Dwarpa Yuga. And the main religious principle was sacrifice, not sacrifice of animals, but fire sacrifices. And then the next stage, Treta Yuga, well, of course, at this time it got switched. Dwarka came after Treta, but that's another point. Then the third age, the religious principle is temple worship. And then people live for 1,000 years. And then in this age, called Kali Yuga, which is the age of darkness and the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, where you're lucky. I mean, how many people, they're very famous if they live for 100 years. And then as this Kali Yuga degrades, then it says that the scriptures say that if somebody lives to be 30, he'll be considered a ripe old man. There are a few symptoms. I'll say some Sanskrit here. Prayenal payushab shabya kalavasmin jage jana mandak sumanda matayo mandapagya hupachutaha. In this age of Kali, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, men have but short lives. They are lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. So it's just going. It's eternal time is controlling the whole thing. Uh, in fact, Krishna says in the Gita that time I am the destroyer of the worlds, and I've come to engage all men and all species. So Kali Yuga is gradually degrading more and more cheating of the leaders. In fact, in the, I think it was the third canto, fifth canto, Prabhupada called them the leaders like Rakshasas or man-eating demons. So, equivalent to. So, this is not going to get better, but it's going to get worse. And in Satya Yuga, to have a demon was very rare. Like those of you who can kindly stay after the lunch prasadam, you'll see this video where a very saintly young boy, Prahlad, he had a very demoniac father who was torturing everybody. But in the age of Kali, it's very common to have people who have demoniac tendencies. So yes, it's a symptom of the age of Kali. Everything gets more and more crazy. As you can see, the teachers are also cheaters and the doctors are also cheaters to make money. And there's heads of the whole cheater thing to make everybody weak and dumb for sadistic control. What? You said something?
I said to control.
To control. It's enjoyable.
So they're not actually doing affirming things. That's what they call it, like gender affirming. But you're saying they actually want to control people?
Control, make people stupefied. I know one, my godbrother, he was a man and he was into yoga, like really making the body strong and everything working good. And then he got so into it that he decided to be a girl. So he had an operation and became a girl. And then I saw him in front of the same temple so many years later. I hadn't seen him in a while. And he was, high-heeled shoes and this flary skirt and walking around like that. He was in bliss. Mm-hmm. Then I saw him a bunch of years later when he became old and he was like a bum, a very poor person who you might see in Miami under the bridges. And, an old lady. Yeah.
What are the benefits of being in Kali Yuga? Are there any benefits?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Kalo Tat Hari Kirtan. The Bhagavatam says that this age is an ocean of faults, but there's one good thing about it, and that is Kalo Tat Hari Kirtan. You can chant the Hare Krishna mantra and get out of the whole thing. You can read the scriptures, hear the scriptures, associate with devotees, and get out of the whole thing. You can take Krishna Prasadam, you can make Krishna Prasadam, and get out of the whole thing. And there are so many technical advancements in this age, which has a lot of bad things happening, and also devotees can use the advancement of the age of Kali for sound recordings like you do, and so many nice things to record kirtan and bhajans. Yes. Sorry if this is a heavy class.
My question is, what is the Gaudiya Vaishnav approach to world peace? Because a lot of this movement is preaching, and a lot of every religious movement is preaching, and it's like unavoidable clashes between the major religions preaching a way towards world peace. Yes, so every major religion has a way to attain world peace. For example, like the Islamic may believe that the way to world peace is everybody becomes a Muslim. And it seems like Srila Prabhupada's way to world peace is everybody worships Lord Krishna. So, and they're both out there preaching and trying to expand. And it seems like that effort in itself is not contributing to world peace. It's contributing to a greater religious clash. The religions, the great religions.
We're members of a great religion, and we don't clash with anybody. We just discuss philosophy. For example, I just explained many similarities between Christianity and Krishna consciousness, and how Krishna consciousness is the postgraduate study, so that there's not a clash. It shows the relation. This is not a religion, actually. It's a science. It's the science of the soul. And every religion has the same, every member of every religious group and everybody who's an atheist or an agnostic goes through the same things. What? Birth, growth, sustenance, giving off byproducts. Even if you're a tree, you go through the same thing. And dwindling and finishing. So this is the science of the soul. It talks about the difference between the soul and the body, and what happens to the soul in material existence, what is the nature of the soul in spiritual existence. And we don't say that Islam or Muslim is not as good as Krishna consciousness. We say, let's talk philosophy. What do they believe? They believe that God is not a person. They bow down namaz to a cloth. And so then we would speak about impersonalism, how it's not a bona fide understanding of reality. As we weren't explaining, our gurus were explaining, and we were just repeating that you have to have a person behind everything. Who gave them the intelligence to think like that? Where do you get your intelligence from? Krishna says in the Gita, I am the intelligence of the intelligent, and I'm the prowess of all powerful men. So there has to be a person. There's a person behind a sprinkler system. There has to be a person behind the rain. And those persons behind the rain and the sun, imagine if we didn't have a sun, what would happen? We'd be pretty cold. We would die in a minute. Also, who's controlling the sun? Who's controlling the oceans? Like, did you ever go to the beach here in Miami? That is a pretty big body of water, right? Sometimes the tide comes in a little bit and the beach gets smaller. Sometimes it goes out, right? Sometimes you can walk a long way and it keeps being shallow. Sometimes you just step in and it's deep. Okay, so, but even though there are some small varieties in the ocean, unless there's a typhoon, the ocean doesn't come up to the buildings, right? So who's controlling that? If the ocean were just left on its own, it might just flood the whole city. So somebody says, yes, ocean, you're very powerful, but you can't go 1 inch beyond that point. And what about the sun? If the sun were a little bit off its orbit this way, the whole universe might burn. If the sun were a little bit off its orbit this way, the whole universe might freeze. So it's keeping on its orbit. The seasons are changing. Autumn, summer. Did you ever try to paint like 1,000 trees, different colors, as happens every autumn? No, because it takes a big brain. So, like, we wouldn't say Muslim people are bad, they shoot anybody who's not Muslim. Rather, we talk about the philosophy and show the logic in it. Okay?
If I may add, the other religions have clashed with Hinduism, if anything.
They might, but we
because,
don't.
The British rule.
Yes,
Going back to Jabraris,
yes.
can you kind of glorify the holy name Claire Doshar, like glorify the weapon for this age?
Yes. So the weapon for this age was given to us. Do you have a question?
Yes.
The weapon for this age No, it's okay. You can go next. The weapon for this age, I wouldn't call it a weapon. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha and Krishna combined. And he came, you didn't know that? Really? You better move in again. Okay, so Krishna wanted to know what is the nature of Radha's love that's way greater than mine and that controls me. But he couldn't figure it out. So he had to ask her for her mood. Can I somehow or other get your mood? And then she gave it to him. Yes, you can borrow it. So he became covered by her mood and could understand the nature of her love. So how he had to take another form. He took a form that was golden like hers. So he became covered by her golden complexion and her type of love. And that became Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the yellow dhoti there, who came 500 years ago to give the chanting of the holy names as the panacea for this age of Kali. And when he went out on Sankirtan or did any programs, he would have millions of people following him. And why not? Because he's God and he drew everybody to him. So the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra has many benefits. Vasanti wanted us to talk about the benefits of chanting the holy name. According to the scriptures and our holy teachers, if one chants one name purely, without any inattentiveness, then all the sins that he's committed for many, many births is purified and he doesn't get any reaction. What else is a benefit of chanting? One changes, one's nature changes. Like the story of Magrari the hunter, who loved half-killing animals, which he learned from his father. And he loved to see them die after flapping in anguish, in so much pain for a long time. So the great sage Narada, he's one of the leaders of the Krishna consciousness movement since time immemorial. And so he entered that forest and saw what was happening. So he twanged his veena, and you know veena, it has this long round thing and with strings and has a big belly at the bottom. So he twanged his veena and all the animals ran away. They got back their life. And then he saw the hunter who was really angry with him. How dare you do that? So then Narada, he had this little water pot, if you've seen in India, a little water pot. And so he took some water and splashed him. And then he could see that all the animals that he half killed and finally died were all coming back and killing him in the same torturous ways. So he became afraid. And he said, well, what can I do? So Narada said, well, first break your bow and then I'll tell you. So by this time he had faith in Narada. So he broke his bow and Narada said, go home, chant Hare Krishna with your wife. But how will I eat? Watch. Just chant Hare Krishna and you'll see Krishna supplies you with everything, which is what happened. And all the neighbors were so shocked at the change of his nature that they started bringing him so many vegetarian produce. And so he and his wife chanted Hare Krishna. They offered all their food. And there was so much that he could distribute that prasadam to all the villagers. And then sometime later, Narada came back to visit him. And he brought his friend Parvat Muni, who could also fly through space. And when Magrari saw from his house that his guru Narada was there, he immediately ran to him to offer his obeisances. But he saw that on the way there were some ants. and he didn't want to step on them. And so he took his cloth and very gently picked them up and moved them to the side, and then he ran to his guru and offered obeisances. So then his friend said to him, yeah, go ahead. His friend said to him, what is wonderful for a person who's had the association of pure devotees? How much he changed. And there are many other examples. There's one of, there was a guru and a disciple, and the guru said, I'm leaving for a couple of days. You can take charge of the ashram. So he was sweeping, chanting Hare Krishna, taking care. And then all of a sudden, a father and mother came, holding their dead child, and said, where's your guru? We need him. He said, well, he's out for a couple of days. Okay, well, you're his disciple. You're surrendered to him. Then you help us. You bring back my child, my dead son. I can't. I'm not qualified like him. Yes, you are. Just remember your guru, and you'll be able to help him. So he said, all right. So he meditated on his guru, and he took some chalk, and he wrote Krishna on a board, blackboard or whiteboard or whatever. And then he rinsed it out into the water. And then he did that 2 more times. And then he made the mouth of the child drink that water. And the child immediately came back to life. So the parents were overwhelmed, and then they went home, and then when the guru came, a couple of days later, they came back and started praising the disciple. So he said, what? You did that? Leave my ashram at once. So the disciple said, what? You're kicking me out for doing that? Yes, you have no faith in Krishna. Get out. So he was crying and crying and crying. So the guru said, okay, take this stone and bring it and find out how much you can get for it. Don't sell it, just find out how much you can get for it. So he did. He went to the vegetable market. Vegetable man looked at it, he said, I can give you 5 kilos of any kind of vegetable you want. Okay, then he went back to his guru. Gurudev, that's amazing, let's sell it. No, go to somebody in more knowledge. So he went to a jeweler, and the jeweler said, I'll give you $100. What, $100? That's amazing. Went back to his guru, no, take it to somebody more authoritative. So he took it to I forgot what you call it, but somebody who professionally knows how to evaluate jewels. Test metals. I forget what you call that person. Gemologist. So he did. I'll give you $1,000 for this. Gurudev, this is it. We have to sell. No, bring it to the king's gemologists, which he did. And they all got in a huddle together. And then they told the king, you know, king, if you were to sell your entire kingdom, you could not pay for this. This is a Chintamani stone. Chintamani means whatever you want. This is millions of times more valuable than a touchstone. You get as much gold as you want or anything that you want. So, yeah, the king got interested, but then he went back to the guru and he said, you know, Gurudev, we could have kingdoms. And you could engage everyone in Krishna consciousness with all these kingdoms you could have. And then his Gurudev told him, that's why I told you to leave, because you have no faith in the holy name. The holy name is much more valuable than this Chintamani. And you thought that you had to write it 3 times, but you only had to write it once, and it would have done the trick. So actually this was a whole arrangement by his guru to teach him something. Yeah, so there's many benefits. Well, just even initially, when we're not chanting purely, how many people, how many devotees here don't get into some kind of stress every day? How many people don't? I wouldn't raise my hand. Students, teachers, scientists, doctors, psychologists, they have to listen all day, right, Dan, to people's problems. Doesn't that give stress? God, that's your mind has to come down. So
Sorry, I think it's because I work with people. Sometimes there are problems. You absorb some of that energy.
we absorb the energy.
And then you're
So we all get in stress, we get angry at our,
differently, right?
huh?
You feel differently.
You come home agitated, and then you have a fight with your wife or your husband, or your son or your father. So everyone's in stress because of the paradigm that our mind has when judging things. Your body doesn't get afraid. Your body doesn't get stressed. Although the stress from the mind goes into the body and stresses out the person's health. Stress causes so many diseases like cancer, like resentment causes cancer, and stomach issues, and so many, diabetes, so many. And stress comes from how the mind perceives what's happening. So a Krishna conscious mind, a mind that's engaged in chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, sees the world differently. Like if somebody kicks him, then of course he's not going to stand there and say, "Kick me more." But how will he think? He will think that I kicked someone previously, either recently or long ago or in a past life. So I'm just getting a token or a summary punishment of what I actually deserve. Because I've come to Krishna consciousness, I've taken shelter of bona fide devotees. I'm just getting a little of what I deserve. Like you have a judge, and you have a lawyer, and you have a kid, and the kid does something, not a little kid, but a big kid does something really bad, and so he can easily be fined. He could easily be fined, $1,000, $1 million. But because the judge is a friend of the father, who's a lawyer, so they're good friends together, he said, well, I have to fine him something. So, all right, I fine him 1 penny. So we'll get a summary of what we really deserve because we're connected with devotion, bhakti, and bhakti people. Shri Shri Radharaman Bihari Ji Ki Jai. Even this food that we have that's in the middle of being offered, by eating this prasadam, one gets free from past sins and past misgivings and offenses, the results of them. So it's already one's. Oh yes, Diego. I hope you weren't scared away by today's. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. My question was regarding sexual energy. This is a little like a personal experience that I've been going through. I've been trying to use the sexual energy for creative purposes and for Krishna. And I've been having some struggles with it since I feel like a strong pull, a desire for releasing the energy and enjoy the gratification.
And what gratification?
And enjoy the gratification, yes.
What word came before gratification?
Yes.
Enjoying.
Enjoy, yes. It's my Argentinian accent.
Yeah.
So, and that comes with a lot of guilt and frustration for myself, and I have my up and downs, but
You have what?
my ups and downs,
Ups and downs.
right? And and I'm trying to find the tools and the discipline, if it's a word, I don't know if the right word to say it, but to resist this, releasing of the energy. So I don't know if there's anything that I can do instead to keep control of that energy and use it for divine creation and for towards Krishna, basically.
Good.
So thank you.
Thank you for being brave enough to ask that. There are again, all the questions can be answered from different angles. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principles. That is, get married and then have sex life once a month, I think it is, for the purpose of having children. And then there are ceremonies that you do to ensure at the time of conception, not conception, the time of
Consummation. When
yeah,
you're consummating
right.
consciousness.
At that time, like there are ancient ceremonies to do, and Prabhupada used to ask the devotees to chant 50 rounds that day, so that at that time of consummation, the consciousness is clear, and so Krishna will send a person who's worthy of getting into a good Krishna conscious family, and the child will be good. So that's one way. Another way is to stay in the temple and associate with devotees who are controlled, or come more often if you can't stay, or stay for a while and experience the higher taste. Without getting a higher taste, we can't give up a lower taste. Like a child wants to play goofy things that don't mean anything and are not favorable for his development. But then when he's given a good education, he tastes the higher taste of knowledge and that he's learning something. Does that help? Okay.
Didi, are you saying so unless we have plans to have a children, we can't have a sex life?
If you mean like, hugging or something, that's one thing. But if you plan to have, the whole thing, so to speak, then yes, without purpose of having children, then it's a sin.
So no enjoying of sex life unless you want to have a child.
Yeah, but not with every woman that you meet. Get yourself married. Yeah.
What about for people who are like, I guess, what about, I guess like for people who are early on their bhakti path, like we live in a society and a culture that is absurdly hypersexualized, from very
That's a
early.
good word.
I mean, yeah,
Absurdly hypersexualized.
That really is, and it's it's enforced on people from an extremely young age.
It is.
They
Yes.
create extremely deep samskars. So, for people then who are new to this process, entering this process where that seems literally impossible to do because of just circumstances, like how can one say? Like Diego brought up this sense of like guilt. How can one then still be traversing the path and not feel guilty for these things that are just how they have their present nature?
Yeah. Well, Prabhupada mentioned lamentation, which you could say is guilt. Oh, why did I do that? But lamentation is purification. And then association as much as possible. If it's not possible to associate physically, then by the internet. That's one good thing of Kali Yuga too, is that we have the internet and we can watch classes, we can watch kirtan, we can watch cooking classes, Krishna conscious cooking classes, mridanga classes. The more we're absorbed in the higher taste, and it's hard for new people, so all right, then know that it's not helping you. It's not helping you have to get a reaction to it. And then there's so many songs that we have, so many kirtans. of lamentation, so that we're not just wallowing. Like all the songs that we sing in the day and the night, it's all, prostrating ourselves before Krishna, before his devotees, before Guru, and praying for strength. Here I'm putting my lousy life in front of you at your lotus feet, and please do something with it. And that surrender makes Krishna want to take us over more and more. That answer it?
Yeah, I wanted just a simple elaboration of what you are saying. His question, your question, what you said about what's going on in the world today. In the material world, there is always going to be something going. That's nothing new. You think that because they killed these young men, that's a big deal? They killed the president one time. They killed President Kennedy. A lot of people loved him. Still, they kill him. So this is the nature of the material world. But if we put together all the questions, we do have an answer. The holy names, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, has more potency than we can even imagine. But because we're not chanting purely, so how do you become a pure chanter? By chanting more, chanting, chanting, chanting. I'm always chanting. Cooking, cleaning, going to the bathroom, I'm always chanting. And I feel that this, message of Godhead coming from Srila Prabhupada, from Srila Gurudev, from Guru Devi, we have these holy names. That when these things are happening, perhaps we should think, oh, maybe I'm not chanting purely. Maybe I should have come over there and say, hey, every religion is trying to show that they have the answer. We should chant more, preach more, and little by little we'll get there where we have some kind of faith. Like, to me, it doesn't bother me. I see my husband talking about this, oh, he was such a good Christian. And I said, but we don't know who's who. But if I see you sitting chanting properly, instead of watching them, then I see that you're trying to bring a solution to the problem. But we want to bring solution without us participating. We're not chanting 16 rounds. Like I always said, if you don't chant 16 rounds, you're going to have problems. So let's chant 16 rounds, all of us. Take personal a commitment. Take your, control yourself first. Then the world will follow. So we want everybody, we want to see purity everywhere. But we ourselves, we're thinking we're so pure, and we don't even know how important it is to chant. And 16 rounds is really nothing. These personalities that we're glorifying in the song books, these are constant chanters. They don't chant one time. And for you, dearest, that means that you need to chant more. You, even I, need to chant more. So let the Hare Krishna Mahamantra be heard in every town and village. Maybe these occurrences in this material plane of existence, I know they're intense, but each one of us should feel, oh, it's probably because I'm not chanting purely enough. Maybe I should be out there too, bringing more this message of Godhead. And then we can change the world. Right. Books and, and being exemplary in your behavior. Don't get angry over some silly stuff. One of my clients this week, she was having a heart attack over that gentleman that got killed. And I talked to her about it, a story that I heard. There was a gentleman that hated one of the U.S. presidents so much that when he was angry, his anger got so bad that he will go into a lot of heat. And behind his ears, he was creating some kind of like a burning sensation. And a doctor told him, you hate the gentleman so much, but the gentleman is maybe having fun with his wife, and right, and you're suffering so this suffering that we feel in this pain is because we don't know how to channel the energy. We should be so concerned with our own self that what goes out there, and that's not being selfish. It's like two people fall in a lake, and none of them know how to swim. You see somebody in a lake drowning, and you jump in, but you don't know how to swim. That's what we're doing. And we're giving this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra the way to pull that person out, but we're not doing it. So maybe this violence is within ourselves more than what's out there.
You mentioned about the we don't know how to swim, because there's another analogy that Prabhupada gives, that there was a man drowning and everyone was standing around the lake, and one man said, "I'll save him," so he could swim. He swam, went to the guy and took his hat and coat and brought it back to the land. He said, "I saved him." And everybody, because he just was saving the hat and coat. So different people have different ways for world peace. So the science of bhakti says, if you bring people to the soul level, then they can be peaceful individually, and as she said, it spreads out to everyone. And if the leaders are good, if they're Krishna conscious, then the whole country will be Krishna conscious and happy. In the kingdom of Maharaj Yudhisthira 5,000 years ago, even the animals that were usually at each other, like the deer and the lion, they all loved each other. Okay, kirtan, and then Rashni's birthday was when? Reshma's birthday was when? Yesterday. So we're going to do birthday blessings today. So we'll have a 5-minute kirtan, and then Reshma's birthday blessings from Srila Gurudev, and then we're going to take prasadam for a half hour, and then we're going to watch that amazing the Shringadev movie. Because a lot of times, huh? What? Yeah, we'll see how it goes. If everybody starts walking out, we'll know it's time to stop. Okay, so who's leading? Are you volunteering?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bamsi. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Can I have a Archana Deepika? So we learn from our Gurudev. In fact, we are meditating that our Gurudev, Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, is doing this. Birthday blessings. That is saying these ancient mantras called Swastik Vachan. Swasti Vachan means mantras of well-wishing, blessings, auspiciousness to you. And they're powerful mantras. They are for receiving benediction from Krishna in his different forms. As you know, Krishna has lots of forms, lots of activities, and lots of names that go with them. Like your name is Rashma, but you might have another name, which is Honey, from Dan. And many other names according to your relationships. So that's what this is happening. To give you all prosperity and auspiciousness. So we're learning from how he did it. And then even if somebody came up to him at an airport when he was leaving and they'd say, today's my birthday, then somehow or other immediately flower petals would manifest. And he would do the short version, which is to say, Kalyanam Bhavatu, may you be all auspicious. Mangalam Bhavatu, may you have all auspiciousness. And then they would throw flowers, but this is the longer way because we have more time. Okay, so if everybody can repeat after me. Om Swastino. Govindaha. Swastino. Achyutananto. Swastino. Vasudevo. Vishnu. Dadatu. Swastinaha. Padmanabhaha. Purushottamo. Dadatu. Swastino. Vishvaksheno. Vishveshwaraha. Swastino. Rishikesho. Harir Dadatu. Swastino. Vainateyo. Harihi. Swastino. Anjanasuto. Hanor Bhagavato. Dadatu. Swasti Swasti. Sumangalaikesho. Mahan. Sri Krishna. Sachidananda Ganaha. Sarvesvaresvaro. Dadatu. Kalyanam Bhavatu. Mangalam Bhavatu. May you be auspicious on your birthday. May you be happy in this birth and the next. May you attain Braj Bhakti, the highest abode. And may you become a servant of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. With a leaning towards Radha. Okay. So, Swastihi, Swastihi, Swastihi. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to Rashna. Hare Krishna to you. Occasion. A break. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Okay, now without blowing, but using your hand, make your wish and put out the candles.
More. Faster. Hurry.
Thank you so much. This is very unexpected. I didn't prepare for this, but this new community that I'm becoming a part of through my husband, it's so much larger than I could have even understood. We met 2 years ago. The first time I came into this space, I felt home, which is really tough to find in Miami because I just moved from New York to come here, and it just the calmness that I felt just from walking through the door. I was like, we have to get married here. I don't even know like what that's gonna look like, if that's even possible, because I grew up Hindu, so I didn't understand all the rules, and he's like, well, let's just ask. And I was stalking him, like, did you message Vasanti? Do you know? Because I don't want to get married anywhere else. Like, I want it to be here. So it's just, I didn't even know this was a thing, but it's just so beautiful, and I just want to say thank you so much. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Beautiful, heartfelt. Okay, so now we're going to all go out, or in or out? Oh, it's about to rain. Okay, so in, we're going to all share her birthday cake and take prasadam. And then again, right after prasadam, a half hour later, we'll have the Nrsingadev movie.
Sorry, I know everyone wants to socialize. Quick announcement. Wait, gotta get you a quick announcement. We're gonna put down the rows. We're gonna sit in rows, 2 rows. I don't know, will everyone fit in here? Yeah, we might need another tarp out there. And then everyone will sit down, and we need how many servers? 3 or 4 servers to help serve out the prasadam. You're volunteering Kunja Bihari to be a server? Right, I said server, you pointed to him. And then again, if you don't have, or if you do have art and books in the gift shop, any amount of books and art for any donation. And I think we have Blessed Bites today. We usually have Blessed Bites Friday, but I think we're doing Blessed Bites Sunday too. We have Sudevi's made samosas and some English delectable. So Blessed Bites will be at this table. She's setting up right by the water right there. Oh my gosh, wait, something just came to us. Yeah, we just got this in the mail. Like really, really amazing. Oh yeah, we didn't. Someone just brought from Canada for us. Manjari from some really high-end, nice, incredible prints. G-glaze on canvas prints. Look at that, right? Wait for it. Kunj Kirtan. Oh my gosh. Venu Geet, Spiritual World. Venu Geet. Jai Shri. And Seva Kunj.
And here's
Which one is this? Oh wait, look at this one. food. Yeah, it's beautiful, right? So you can see me here, G'day Prabhu, if you want to take one home to illuminate your home. And also, remember Thursday night, if you're available. If you're not available, make yourselves available if you live in Miami. Thursday, there's Wednesday 2 programs. Monday at MDC. Wednesday 10 to 12. There'll be a beautiful art talk. There'll be a panel for illustrious speakers. Sharmaidhi, Garuda Prabhu is a professor up in Michigan, Virginia. Mandri and Vishnupriya Goswami. She's studying in Vrindavan right now. And so that's Wednesday at 10 at MDC. And then Thursday night at 6 o'clock, there's artist talk with Sharmaidhi and Mandri. So, yes, with the beautiful movie. So if you haven't come, the exhibit, you guys, if you can make it, the exhibit is incredible. You're probably wondering where the originals are. They're at MDC Art Gallery, Padron campus. So we'll send out the flyer today.
We're going to give Rashma a birthday present of any one of these for her choice.
Oh, that's so nice.